You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing the 4 R's in becoming the expert of your life.
Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place.
Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. What is going on in your world? Truly, I would love to know. I am working on some new program ideas, and I would love to hear from you as to what you think might be most helpful. So, as always, please feel free to reach out on the socials directly to me at Michelle Burke Coaching and let me know. Let's see, what is a challenge that you're facing today? And also, don't forget to get on my email list because that is the best place to hear about any new programs. So just head over to michelleburkecoaching.com/list. And remember, Burke is Bourque. And you can get on the email list, join at no cost, and keep up on all of the latest information. Okay, now let's dive into today's topic because today I want to talk to you about being the expert that is, in your life. And this is so important because when you know that you are the expert in your life, you are able to create at an entirely new level. And here's what I mean by saying you're the expert of your life. There are a lot of women, me included, who often look to others for permission or approval or feedback on decisions that we make to create our lives. Maybe, just maybe, you already have everything that you need within you. And you just need to start giving yourself approval. And listen, I get it. A lot of times, this need for approval from others comes from the fear of being judged, right? I mean, think back to the day, if you were not part of the tribe, you would be killed. So it totally makes sense. But the truth is, people judge. And if we're being honest here, we all judge, right? So it comes down to, what do you want to consider to be more important? Your judgment of yourself or how others are judging you, which we all know we cannot control others. As we might mightily try again, it just does not seem to work. And of course, when we're looking to control others, we do it with good intention because we think we know what's best, right? They should be doing XYZ. And then what happens? We get pissed when they don't. It's so interesting because we think we know what is best for others and we get all riled up at times and we look to others as knowing what's best for us. I want you to be open to building some new neural pathways where you can take the energy of trying to change others and bring it within yourself. And as you think about what this looks like for you, I really want you to consider both your personal life and your professional areas because sometimes it's easier to start making changes in your life by focusing on one specific example and then taking that meta skill, like taking what you've learned in that example and applying it to your life. Because remember, how we do one thing is how we do most things, and making the changes will almost always be like a domino effect. When you can shift in one area of your life, it really does open up new possibilities to other areas. Now, I've been playing around with this concept of the 4 R's, and I want to share it with you today to kind of help you work through what becoming the expert of your life might look like with a process. So today I want to talk about the importance of recognizing, reframing, regrouping, and regaining. So let's start with recognize. I want you to take some time to think about, or even dare I say, journal about. And I will say journaling can be so helpful. And sometimes people ask, how should I get started? Just a piece of paper and a writing utensil. Let's keep it pretty simple, right? Or even your notes app if you prefer. I like the old fashioned, like pen to paper, and just start writing your stream of consciousness. You do not need to make it a big deal and go get your, fancy quill pen with the ink and a really fancy notebook. No, just go get some paper and get going. Side note, our brain likes to tell us that we need to have everything just right before we begin, especially my perfectionistic thinking friends here. No, it's simply just get going. And it's a great way to avoid doing the work, right? When we think we need to have everything in place and it has to be perfect, that is really our brain trying to avoid change. Because listen, our brain is on a motivational triad to be efficient, to avoid pain, and to seek pleasure. And sometimes when we journal, we see things that are going on inside that brain of ours that might not be so pleasurable. But the truth is, it's all still there. We want to be able to recognize it and just take the time to be open to looking at it. And I want you to think about, when you're journaling, all the areas where you ask for permission or approval. And another thing, you don't have to start with your deepest, darkest areas here, right? It can be as simple as you thinking someone else knows what's best for you. Let's say with eating, right? I mean, this seems like just such an easy one because we have such a diet culture mentality in society. And I think that a lot of people can probably relate, right? Or maybe it's following a lead on a project at work that you think maybe you have a better idea, but you don't really feel super confident in it. Or maybe it's continuing to follow your parents' beliefs around what it means to be a good daughter, or your boss's beliefs around what it means to be a good employee. The key is, and listen to me when I say this, there is no right or wrong answers when we're doing this work. There are no right or wrong answers when you're doing this work. So pick one area, and I want you, once you start to recognize what's going on in that brain, you are able to then take the time to reframe it. So, in order to reframe it, you need to understand what purpose it is currently providing for you. Because a lot of times we have these ideas and thoughts, and we think, oh, I don't want to be thinking this, but they are all serving a purpose one way or another in our lives currently, or else we wouldn't keep holding on to them, right? So, why do you think you are currently seeking the approval or permission? What are your beliefs around the circumstances? I'm just going to keep giving you a couple questions here to maybe start opening up ways for you to reframe the situation. I want you to write those down and then ask yourself, what else could be true? Is this actually 100% true? How about, do I like my reasons why I am seeking this approval or permission? How about, who would I be if I didn't think this? What would I like to think about this instead? And you don't have to do all of these questions. I just want you to start considering what might be a different shift on your current beliefs. And these are just some of the questions that might get you to a place where you see opportunities for other thoughts. And maybe, and by maybe, I mean there are, there are a number of beliefs that we can have that are available to us around every circumstance. So now that you've recognized and reframed, let's move on to regrouping. Take a look at the answers that you have above and put together a new sentence or two about the situation that you want to start believing. And I don't want you to think that you need to go to the extremes, like everything needs to be rainbows, daisies, and butterflies. No, it can be as simple as something like, let's say, okay, let's keep with the diet culture mentality. Okay. So instead of thinking food controls me, or I need to be all in on the latest trend, or I am allowed to cheat on the weekends, which, by the way, I think that kind of talking, the whole like cheating, or the crime doesn't finish the punishment, all of that, the way we talk about food and make it so personal to ourselves, that could be an entirely different podcast. So stay tuned. I might do that, but I digress. So maybe you have those as your current thoughts. And now I want you to think about a current thought being as simple, or excuse me, not a current thought, a new thought being as simple as I'm starting to be open to the idea that I know what is best for my body. And I will tell you, especially in my age now and looking at all of the menopause transition information, like nobody knows exactly what is best for your body. So, I am hoping that if you're listening and you're younger, you start believing this way sooner than many women do. You are capable of knowing what your body needs to be fuel. You can be open to the idea that you know what is best to make your body work. And the key part of this is that you need to work on thinking the new thought, the new sentence every day. And that is how you build the new neural pathways. You think about the new sentence, and then remember, your brain is always seeking to find evidence to prove what you believe to be true. So when you start incorporating the new beliefs, the new sentence, the new thought, however you want to refer to it, then you start putting your brain on a mission to find evidence of how that is now true in your day to day activities. So maybe if you want to start believing that you do know what is best to put in your body, you start paying attention to things like your hunger cues. Am I even hungry for this right now? A lot of times, right, we're just like, it's noontime, I gotta eat because that's what people say. Like, are you even hungry? How about asking, am I full? Simple, small changes that will help build new beliefs. And that brings us to the final step, which is regain. And when you start taking these steps, you start seeing where and or why you're looking for number one, the approval of others to begin with, right? And then you can release that need and step into regaining your confidence, regaining a new level of self esteem, regaining control of making decisions in your life that you want to make. You step into the knowing that, like I said at the start of this episode, you are the one in possession of having everything you already need within you. Focus on cultivating that. Use your energy to create the life that you most want, and that's where the magic is. Okay, friends, that's what I have for you today. Reminder, you can always connect with me on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn at Michelle Burke Coaching, Michelle Arnold Burke on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you know I love hearing from you. Okay, so let's meet back next week. For now, make it a great day. Take care.
Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.